Me bayan za sa kama sa sa me zidang jire ya guru Kamsa ma me menza ba zi ba ma sa ma ya sa do Inge wa di nyu do dan do ji san ba chu ju ne ru wa chi ya ma le ba di ya sa da gu ba shu Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to do the long life initiation. This long life initiation is called the 100 years long life initiation. There are three reasons that we can achieve our long life. Three main parts. We must have a good long life, and good merits. These three things are very important. If you have, let's say, merits or achieve, make your life longer. If you don't have, you have good life, but you don't have good karma, but you have basically, if you have one or two, and if you don't have the other, then you can. There are different methods and different practices that we can make it prolong and make it better. So in order to do that, then we have different practices. One of them is to receive long life initiations. Receiving long life initiation is what I call beginning part of your practice. When you receive the long life initiation, does not mean automatically now you will have a long life and you can do whatever you want and you will have a long life. The way it works is that once you receive the transmission or the initiation, then you are entitled to practice these mantras and visualizations. With those visualizations, then you have a chance to have a long life. So this is how it works. But also it's very important to remember that if you are practicing this just for this life or for your family or for just to work or just to do some other things, then how do you say, this is not the right path. To have a long and healthy life is a very important. Even for a worldly work or worldly life, you need time to do whatever you want to achieve. So similarly, in order to, as a Buddhist, Mahayana or Vajrayana practitioner, our goal, all the Vajrayana practitioners, there is only one goal, and that goal is to achieve enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings, for oneself, or achieve enlightenment by all other sentient beings. So that is the basically achieving enlightenment is the only goal, and there is no other goal. So all the other practices are basically to help you achieve your how do you say, for you need time to practice, you need to have good health, so that's why we have these different practices to help you with those practices. So that's one of the main reasons that we to practice, so that you can have more time, because you may receive many teachings, but just mere receiving teaching is not enough. After that, you need to practice, because what we are trying to achieve is get experience. And you cannot fast forward to experience. To get an experience, you have to go through the teachings or go through the practice. Without going through the practice, you cannot, because until and unless you, let's say, to eating an apple, the experience of eating an apple or the whatever experience you're going through, first you must eat the apple. You cannot just visualize the apple and then you say, oh, I'm going to, I want to experience the apples eating that experience. So, but in order to get that, then we must first go and get the apple and then eat it, and then only you get the experience of eating an apple. So similarly, we have great masters. Whenever you receive teachings, now all those teachings you must go through yourself, and then the experience that you get, and that is where you will basically you are learning, because you are now getting the full benefit of these teachings. And one thing I just wanted to add here, that many people who have received different teachings, different kind of things, it is, I think, essential, because one of the reasons that we cannot see good results is because we are always thinking about others, because whatever experience, whatever teachings, we are projecting that on other sentient beings, other people, or other people are going through difficulty, other people are going through suffering, because there is no comparison to you against other people. You will be so much more important for you. No matter how much you think other people are, you can try to be equal to others. It is very difficult for you to do that. So it is very essential, from as far as I see it, essential to whatever experience, whatever teaching, whatever examples that you've been taught, try to put them on oneself, on one's own life, because then you will feel the full weight of these teachings, the full meaning of these teachings. Then you will be able to understand these teachings far more better than projecting these teachings on other sentient beings. And also the sense of also a sense of hurriness, or the full weight of these teachings. I don't think one can, no matter, so other people are in hell, other sentient beings are in hell, other sentient beings are going through so much pain and difficulties and all those things. No matter how much you think that, like that, it may help you a little bit, but I don't think you will feel the full weight of these. If you talk about suffering, so once you think, oh, I am going through the suffering, I am the one who's feeling angry, going through the desire, ignorance, all these suffering that I am going through, then I need to find a solution. What if this happens to me? What if this is so that way these teaching will have a whole different meaning. I can pretty much guaranteed that you will see a whole different point of view, a whole different hurriness that you will feel to understand these teachings. Because that's where I think one mistake that we are making. When you experience those things on ourselves, then you will see the importance of these teachings. Then, because we talk about the three poisons, the anger, desire, ignorance, we talk about the suffering, we talk about all those things, but until and unless you experience themselves, or you feel themselves, feel those teachings yourself, then you will not see the full benefit of these teachings. So in order to do that, again, you need time, which is very precious. We are basically running towards our end of our life. We can have weekends, but life doesn't have weekends, or we don't have holidays. You cannot pause your life. So basically we are running. From ever since we are born till death, we are running, literally like sprinting towards death. Death is getting closer by the second. By understanding these things, then you will see, how to say, the importance of time. It is said in our text that one should practice as if you have taken poison by mistake. But if you take a poison by mistake, then you will be so worried, you will be doing everything possible to find a solution to this, that you have taken poison. So similarly, one should feel that you are going through all this suffering, and the way Buddha's teaching will help you, because we have great masters, we have great Buddha deities, great masters. They cannot help you if you are not ready, or if you are not open to their help, or if you are not willing to receive their help. They cannot help you, and they cannot give you anything which you don't have. This is a very important part that I feel, a point that we must understand, that Buddha or Master or Buddha himself cannot give you what you don't have. Right? So that's way you will see that the capabilities you have. We are underestimating ourselves constantly. All the time we are underestimating ourselves. Oh, I'm a family man, I'm a working person, I can... All these things are, how to say, if you have going through these thoughts, then we have to remember that Buddha taught these teachings to us, knowing that you are capable. For example, you will not give something precious in your life to somebody who will not take care of those things. For example, for a child or a baby who doesn't know what is right or what, you will not give them something precious, something fragile, something very important to them to look after, right? Because you know they cannot look after these things. They will not take care of these things because they are not at that point. They are not capable. It's not like they don't want to, but at that point they are not capable of. Similarly, these methods, these teachings are so precious because instead of we finding out ourselves, which is very difficult, Buddha and our masters, they already went through, they did all the, how to say, research, they did all the, how to say, went through all the difficult parts, and they are giving us a solution, and then where we can how to say, through those understanding of the teaching, then we can resolve our problems. The way we solve our problem, or way Buddha's teaching help you, is that by understanding the problem itself. Most of the problem that we face are basic. We may think this is the material things or physical things, or this is the house is important, my job is important. They are important because we give importance to them. They are important because, for example, there are many people going through so much trouble, so much pain, like physically losing their life, physically losing their limbs, like physically getting abused daily. But you know, it's not like you don't know that, but we all know in this whole wide world, somewhere some people are going through that. But for us today, what is more concerning to you? That the clothing you are wearing, or maybe the mobile signal that you lost, or the Wi-Fi is not working, compared to that somebody losing their child, somebody losing their life, you cannot compare those things. It's like so different. But what is giving you more affecting your life more? What is giving you more trouble or suffering? The mobile signal, or somebody losing somewhere their life? For you, this is more concerning, that I have only 2 bars, I don't have full bar. That is more concerning to you. If you just think about for a second, as I am saying, that what is more concerning to me? I only have 2-3 bars, or I don't have 5G or 4G, or somebody losing their child, the love of their life, somebody, the most precious thing. Is it fair to compare those things? Of course, it's not comparable. But what is affecting you more? What are you more concerned about right this moment? That I don't have 5G, or somebody's losing their life. So because that's one of the main reasons I said that whatever examples or whatever teachings that we are trying to learn, one should project them on ourselves. Somebody is losing their life and you don't have 5G. Now this is where I'm saying, that's why you have to project all those on yourself. What if, the example that normally I give is that, let's say somewhere in this world there was a big, some tragedy. Let's say 100 people or 10 people lose their lives. At the most you see them in the news, or you see them whatever, so you say, oh, I feel very sorry, compassionate, or and that's it. You will not lose your sleep over it, you will not cry, you will not lose your appetite, you will not lose, basically you will not feel anything. Then you will go on with your life. You will maybe think about for a few seconds, then you will go on with your life. But now what if that tragedy happened in Australia? Oh, it happened in Australia. You will be slightly more concerned. You will feel it slightly more. But now what if that tragedy happened in Canberra? Oh, that is my city. That, oh, somewhere close to you. Now you are even more concerned. Now that out of 10, those 10 people, one of them is your friend, or you knew them. That's even more concerning to you. What if that person is one of your relative or your friend? That is much more concerning to you. What if that relative or friend is not just your relative, but you are somebody close to you, your cousins or something like that? You are even more concerned. Now what if that how do you say, that not just any cousin, but let's say it's your brother or your mother or your child or your how do you say, your children. Can you say, oh, and you go on with your life? Can you do that? We cannot just say, oh, my father or my mother or my child just died, and I don't really, I feel sorry for them. I mean, you will not go on with your life. You will lose sleep over it. You will cry. You will scream. You cannot function as a normal person. You will be, how do you say, you will lose your appetite. Basically, everything will be blacked out. Why is that? Why is that? Your child or your loved one is more important? Is that you are more important than all the other people who lost in other parts of the world? It's not, but you are, so now it's your, it attached to you. It's 10 people losing their life, it's all same, but one of them is your, connected to you. It belongs to us, almost like it belongs to you. Your child, your father, so it's mine. You know? So that way you are much more concerned about that than all 9. Let's say even some other scenario where you say, oh, there's some accident happened and 10 people died, and in that same bus or whatever it is, one of your relatives was also there, or one of your loved one was also there. Oh, thank God, he's not my brother or my child. What does that mean? Does that mean that those 10 people, you don't care? It is not my child or my son or my loved one is not the one who's among the dead. So how would this, how do you say? So these kind of small things tells us how strong is your selfish thought. No? Because exactly the similar thing, somebody losing their life, somebody losing their loved ones, their children, their parents, and then you don't have 5G internet connection. No, because it's that internet connection is concerning you, because you are not getting fast enough internet. That other people losing their life is not connected to you, so you don't feel the full weight of the suffering. So that's where I always say that whatever examples, whatever teachings, always put yourself in the center of these things, and then you will see a whole different way. Your approach will be totally changed. You will see a whole different view, new and different view through these kind of if you try this method. So to do all this, you need time. You need, of course, time, very important, your physical health. Because if you are not healthy, if you are not, how do you say, you cannot concentrate to do anything. If you have stomach ache or toothache or headache, or you have difficulty, you cannot do anything. Forget about religious thing. Even your daily, you cannot cook, you cannot drive, you can do even your daily worldly things, you cannot even do that. So, long life, good health, and mentally stable, these are very important things for you to practice these things, practice our teachings. So in order to achieve those things, then one just receiving in long life initiation is not enough. It's very important to have in your daily life to practice compassion, to practice tolerance, to practice more selfless thoughts. These are very, very important. Just because you receive a long life initiation, it doesn't help you that much. But to have in your daily life, bringing those changes in your daily life, and also to think about, that's one of the main reason, I always say that one of the main reason that you do the sadhanas every day. Because then, just like physical exercise you're doing every day to lose weight or to gain muscle or to do whatever you need to do every day. You cannot just go to gym once a year and say, I want to have a better health, right? A better physical shape. So similarly, you have to do like going to gym, you need to do workout again and again to achieve that physical appearance. So similarly, although your mind does not have any shape, size, color, or anything like that, but it needs the exercise. So whenever we do, because remember that no part of your practice is for yourself. It's always, always, always for others. Others. It's very important. So these by these methods, by these teachings, by these methods, then you practice compassion every day, because every day you do sadhana, and sadhana you're doing for all sentient beings, for the sake of all sentient beings, and also practicing, remind yourself of the importance of compassion, importance of tolerance, importance of, because important of tolerance, these are actually becomes quite simple once you see all the trouble that we are going through, all the problems, all the sufferings we are going through, because we were taught. This is the important part. We were taught. Whatever we know now, we were taught. Whenever you know now, you have been taught. The color, the shape, the size, the taste, everything has been taught to you. So, whatever you are experiencing, you are basically experiencing what you have taught. If I tell you something about a place or something that you have no idea about, you cannot imagine what I am talking about. But since you can imagine, if in this world, for example, Europe, Asia, whatever place that I talk about, you can imagine because you have heard some things about, you have heard how to say, little things, you know here, you saw pictures, you saw videos, some things here and there, so you have some kind of imagination, so that's how you are able to, some kind of understanding you will have. So, if everything is imagination, then it's quite easy. It's quite difficult. Right now, you have two different sections. One, physical things which exist, and one is in your dreams or wishes. Wishes and dreams, you know, is kind of not real, but physical things you consider this is something real. This is world. This everything is real. But you have been taught that. Because if you take, let's say, the ice cream, if you take the size, the color, the taste, the shape, everything out of the ice cream, then what is left in the ice cream? Because shape you are taught, right? This round, square, rectangular, whatever shape you have been taught when you first start to learn. Color. We say, oh, this is yellow, this is orange, this is blue, this is green. But somebody taught us that. As a baby, you just didn't learn something, or you got taught that. Similarly, how do you say? The one interesting I just thought about is that how do you describe a taste? Normally, it's very difficult to describe taste because you cannot see, it's something experienced. I always find it quite amusing for me that whenever people say, oh, how do you describe an apple? They say, oh, this apple is sweet. Oh, sweet, okay, sweet, what is sweet? Like sweet like an orange? Are you talking about orange? No, I don't, apple. Or sweet like honey? Are you talking about honey or are you talking about apple? So then I discover, I mean, of course it's there, but this is how I went through this experience is that, then I discovered that everything, the way we speak, the normally we explain, is vaguely. Everything is vague. Oh, it's like a apple. The taste of apple is like honey. Is like you are describing everything but the apple. You know, you are describing. If I had asked you to describe the apple, then you are describing everything else but the apple. But if I say, oh, apple tastes like apple, that doesn't make any sense because then you're not explaining. So similarly, if you in your general conversation, in your life, how we talk, how we communicate with each other, then I realize that everything, the conversation we have, we are talking vaguely about some other things, and somehow because we have been taught this the orange and yellow. Everybody as we know it, we all know same color as yellow. So that's somehow that we are able to communicate that. Because if you try to explain this to an animal, say let's say to a horse or to a monkey, or this is a yellow, I don't think they will know what yellow means, because they have been taught that this color is called yellow. Because we are all taught, so then we can communicate. But animals will not understand. Or if I say, oh, they're yellow or blue or whatever, because they haven't taught unless you teach them first. So similarly, every conversation we have is actually we are talking about vaguely. We are always talking other surrounding it, other things, and somehow we communicate that, and somehow the other person or other group understands that, and then we go on from there, and then we take another shape. Because then also the understanding, if I how do you say, whatever explanation I give is according to other person's mood, or according to other person, the other person like me or doesn't like me, then he or she will have a whole different understanding according to that. Right? If person doesn't like me, say, or whatever I say, or they will try to see it from a negative point of view. If the person likes me, he will try to see the understand through a positive point. So again, here also, it's totally basically mixture of so many different things. So that way, if you see this way, like from the top, or by seeing everything around it, then you will be able to see more clearly that all the suffering that we are going through, so-called suffering that we are going through right now, is not really suffering. It's just basically misunderstanding and lack of understanding. And other thing that I wanted to share is that if you believe, this is my question is, if you believe in the law of karma, if one believes in the law of karma, and I do not know how we can be angry at anybody else. Because if you believe 100% in the law of karma, then whatever happens is because of our karma. Right? Whatever happens is our karma that is happening to us. So you cannot be angry at some other people that my karma is bad. My karma is bad because of my action. Nothing happens out of the blue. Nothing happens without any reason. Everything has a cause and condition. Everything has a reason why it's happening to you. So if you take it, I mean, these are the different methods that you can use to make you more tolerant, make you more compassionate, make you more understanding. So by having these understandings, then what's happening is that you don't have to change anything outside. Outside you don't have to change nothing. You don't have to change zero. You have nothing. You don't have to change. What is happening is that by understanding these teachings and these methods, by using these methods, what is happening is that now you are changing your point of view. And that's all you need. And that's all it is basically. I mean, it's quite unbelievably easy that enlightenment is basically changing your point of view. Enlightenment doesn't mean that you'll start to fly or you'll start to, do all kinds of magical things. That has nothing to do with enlightenment. Enlightenment basically is the one who sees the true nature of everything. The one who sees as it is. Once who see the things as it is, not as what we want to see or not as what we are projecting it. So this is where the big difference is. And this, whether you're projecting or not, this is all depends on your point of view. Your point of view. It's simple as that. By understanding this, then you can see it. You can almost taste. You can almost feel it. You can almost taste that how close you are to enlightenment. So this is amazing for me, and this is so amazing because you can almost touch it. You can almost feel it. You can almost because you're almost there actually, basically. And because we have been believing in this kind of system that with the world that we live in, and so long we have been believing for so long, it is difficult for you to just this country is called Australia. This country could be, tomorrow or you can call some other name. Easily can give you another, because it's a name, it doesn't matter. Name you can change any name. So, but if somebody calls some other name, it will be difficult for you to accept that. It's not that you won't want to change, but accept that, but it will take time for you to accept that. Oh, right now, oh, I'm Australian, or I want to be very, patriotic. I want to be, our country is great, the best in the world. Whatever you want to make yourself to achieve that, the sense of greatness, you will tell yourself. You will explain to others, and basically you will do all those things. But basically, it's just a name. It doesn't have any, because just by changing your point of view, everything is everything is changed. Everything is changed. It's just as simple as that. And now this is where we need masters to guide us. Masters cannot, Buddhas and our deities cannot give you what you don't have. It's just showing you the path, or showing you the methods, and through understanding then you will realize that all the suffering that we are going through right now is so unnecessary. All those feeling of anger, desire, so unnecessary. As simple as I was explaining before, as simple as that if that person, whoever, somebody had an accident, and if you know that your loved one is around that, in that area, unless and until you know that that person who died or who had an accident, it is not your loved one. Unless you know that, how would you feel? How scared, anxious, worried, you'll go through all kinds of experience. You'll be, very worried. But as soon as somebody just called, or that person just called, that person is fine, then such a big relief. But still somebody died. Then that kind of shows that basically you're worried. Because I always find it funny when we go to hospitals, that when the relatives or whoever it is, the patient is not complaining, but the relatives or the loved ones say, oh, why is this happening to me? You are physically fine, you just went to see the patient. No, you are not the patient yourself, but you say, oh, why is this happening to me? It's not happening to you, it's happening to that other person. So that kind of shows that how much importance you give to ourselves. I went through a kind of similar kind of a experience. It was quite an importance, teaching for me myself. There were a few years ago, there was a big attack on a school in some country. As I was watching the news, so many kids were killed, like 150 or 160 children were basically slaughtered. And as the news was going live, I felt so much, I felt sad, I felt, very, I was feeling the pain. But then at the same time, I thought, I cannot compare my pain to those parents who lost their child in that attack. No matter how much I try to feel the pain, or I try to share my concern, is not even maybe 1% of compared to what the parents would be feeling that day. There's no comparison. When I was physically, feeling the pain. But then I also realized that I felt this is not fair. This is not fair. Why I am not feeling the pain as much as because it's not my relative, not my children. As much as I try to see the difference, but then you can see, because it's not me, because it's not my child or not my relative or not one of my kids. Because of that, you see the difference, the weight of it. You know, what the parents that day they would be feeling, and that what I was feeling going through. So that I saw what your selfish thought was capable of, and you know. Similarly, what I try to explain, difference between your mobile signal or somebody losing their loved ones. There is no comparison, but you feel more pain because of the mobile signal than somebody losing their child or somebody loved ones. So basically, by understanding those things, by understanding these things, slowly you will build your belief, you will build your understanding, you build your tolerance, you build your compassion, and through that then you will be able, much easier for you to see the true nature of everything. That is the goal. That is how Buddha was enlightened. That is how Buddhas help you get out of this samsara. Samsara is not a physical place where you are encircled or you are imprisoned in. It's not a we normally, whenever we say explain samsara, we try to imagine a dark, black iron cage that we are in, like a very painful place, and you are in this samsara. But the samsara is basically your own, made of your own web of thoughts, or your own selfish thoughts, you know, coming one after another. Then basically you are in this. So how you come out of this is just realizing that these are all coming from your selfish thoughts, these are all coming from your own. So as easy as that. But because we have been going through, we have been feeling this selfish thought for so long that we have believed that this world that we experience is real. This experience that we are having is real, and this other thing is not real. So that's why where the struggle happens, that's where we need more time, and that's where I believe, or I know, that the faith plays a very important role. Faith is such an important factor in your practice. Having good, strong, unwavering faith will give be much easier. Similarly, if you like somebody, you know, whether you will take the advice or whether you are willing to listen to somebody who you respect or who you love, it will be far more easier for you to listen to that person than somebody you don't really respect or somebody you met on the street. Because somebody, that important person in your life said something, and that is, I'm far more easier for me to follow that path rather than some other random person that could be same same advice, but because of the way I see it, because of my point of view, then it plays a very important role, that how much effect that will happened in my life. So similarly, that by having a good and strong faith will help you so much in your practice. So basically, to understand all this, knowing things and believing things are two totally different things. You may know the philosophy or the teachings, know them by reading or by listening to these teachings, but to believe, that is a totally different, that is where we are struggling. We know, whatever I'm telling you, you already know all those things. That's how you are able to understand, because you know them. You didn't give much thought about those things, but you already know them. The important part is you already know them. There's nothing new that you can learn from this. But you already know them. So now what we are facing difficulty is believing. Because what you have believed for so long, suddenly now you have to think, you have to unlearn. You have to uninstall all everything in your brain, right? You have to unlearn, uninstall all those things. Then it'll be easier for you to how do you say, see the true nature of everything, or to see this point of view. So for that you need time, and to make it faster, belief plays or faith plays a very important role in this one. So today we are going to do the long life initiation. Before we begin the initiation, we'll do a short meditation on the motivation. For the sake of all sentient beings that we are going to receive today's initiation, not for ourselves, not for our family, but for the sake of all of them. Now this is also important, that if you feel, oh, I want to do this for my family also. But if I say Australia, that includes all the states, all the Australia. If I say Australian, then I don't have to say specifically, or this person or that person. That includes everybody. So similarly, when we say all sentient beings, now that includes every single person you know, including yourself. You do not have to say all sentient beings and my family and my loved ones, because that already includes. In fact, if we have your family, much more, because when we say all sentient beings, the bigger the more number, the greater the number, the greater the merits you will gain. If I say, oh, only my family, like 5 people in your family or 10 people you know, then you're praying for 15 people. That means you're only getting the merits of only 15 people. But if you're praying for entire all the sentient beings, that means how to say, unlimited number, then also you will gain much more merit. And also when you have much more merit, that includes it will help your family and your loved ones, even in fact more than you would pray for themselves. So this is important to keep in mind. We are praying for all sentient beings. For the sake of all sentient beings, we are going to receive these teachings. So one of the methods to do this is either by concentrating on an object, preferably on a holy object, because if you try to imagine a holy object, that means you are also gaining merit at the same time. If you are only thinking, just say an apple or your car or your somebody, something like that, or a tree or something like that, you are doing the meditation, but you are not gaining any merits. So, but by keeping your mind on a holy object like a Buddha statue, the deity, master, text, stupa, temple, or anything like that, that way you are at the same time you are gaining merits. So, in another way of practice is that if you cannot do the first part, then you can keep your mind on your breathing. You don't have to do anything special, nothing difficult. Just keep your mind on your breath. As you're breathing in, you take a note that, oh, I'm breathing in. As you breathe inside, keep your breath inside, then you take a note that my breath is inside. And as you breathe out, you just take a note that you're breathing outside. If you want to do slightly more elaborate, then as you breathe in, you visualize or you think that all the energy of the world, of the universe, all the goodness, all the power, all the energy, all the longevity, everything you are inhaling as you are breathing inside. And then as you keep your breath inside, you visualize that everything is inside your body. As you breathe out, then you are breathing out all the negatives the defilements, all the negative things, sickness, whatever you have coming out with your breath also. So what you're doing is you're also cleansing yourself. So we can do either of this meditation. Namgada Nyambe Simchen Tam Jige Dundo Lana Me Bayanda Banzobe Sanjegi Koba Rinpoche Topara Chandi Jidong Gombo Zeta Ishe Bado Mebe Gombara Wango Samo Senlante Nyamso She Nyamba Chanchugi Chodo Do Yebasa Damne Sambara Nangwara Shu Delandere Ka Zimbara Cheve Chene Yangda Banzobe Sanje Namjin Duja Suze Kamdan Samba Dan Pala Nyadan Jeso Timbara Chuji Duze Samje Mija Bashi Sumba Damje Dona Tekpa Memba Dan Tekpa Chimbo Niso Deba Len Tekpa Chimbo Yin Tekpa Chimbo Layam Jupara Do Chimbe Tekpa Dan Jebo Ngaji Tekpa Namba Niso Yeba Le Ngaji Tekpa Yin Telayan Sanga Sanyi Niso Yeba Le Nime Lo Yin Tela Jachewa Kama Dan Nije Dema Dan Sama Dana Meche Dezen Sumdo Yeba Le Dene Dema Dan Dana Ma Sumdo Jewe Minji Ki Sewa Samon Bowe Kapso Papa Yinde Doje Zemole Minba Tanen Chowe La Sanje Chanchu Tempe Cho Je Sumbe Mincho Sosen Kone Tsisen Ta Mando Sumbe Nane Kapso Papa Ni Jawa Yonji Chinle Pa Chenpo Chubchen Thangtong Gyalpo She Jawa Denye Ne Ojen Chenpo Pema June Ye Zare Sechen Sampo Sabde Bebar Zebe Chubchen Rangi Dene Shebe Longde Gunsa Melong Le Shiwan Tuje Chenpo Tang Chabo Choja Tante Nye Yeme Chido Chupa Le Kui Chalo Shima Cho Domo Chiche Mewe Jen Rangji Tashin Rizha Che Mange Chepa Naso Jong Nanda Yanzen Tenpa Chong Shetan Shene Jang Owa Sheche Shaten Tong Zunre Sheche Minchen Shu Tene Ngaye Tuchu Yin She So Terka Tatene Lenche Mayen Ba Longde Pa Tenye La Ishe Ki Kancho Tenye Tsenre Rinpo Pe Tangpo Ne Chapta Chenpo Tangchen Na Tangyen Tope Nangcho Pa Jingmen Gyalpo Tapuro Shu Teche Thangtong Gyalpo To She Tsen Nyingta Tara Yongson Chakpa Tenye Da Oyen Ki Lopen Chenpo Pema June Nye Duja Tape Nangoro Yewa Mejan Shana Ojan Chenpo Dan Shajan Len Mangdo Jara Lapa Tu Nyam Dan Nalam Tapo Mayen Para Sangdo Baji Ribe Poran Chenpo Gongen So Chene Ojen Chenpo Dan Shan Jawe Ojen Chenpo Hero Ke Cheye Nambra Shunen Drupa Chenpo Gaji Jin Jingora Sha Chene Wango Anzebe Lazo Namje Sha Seishin Shenya Wangdan Tamba Taye Basen Tamba Doje Zamba Gund Dingi namkara chenpa la ojen chenpe shiwa pe tsuze de zoba chenpe gyubumra chujo zashi so chokoro yongson zoba senpa yende namdara sonde le ojen kandre lindo pepe se pema jungnen jape chalo jen pawar kandro dumen gowa la Drupjen kaje la so sen la de sanje tongso yedam tome se kepa demba doje senpa la ojen chenpe shiwa tsuze ne lamen zoba chenpo sen la de je chawandara yin la layan ojen chenpe drupjen nigi Piyu do drove ten la chenge beka kuwa ne cheka tenga pena ye dupja namdar pedo long sheda sato yada tangpe secho la saye meza tenre jige ye jana chushu sunpe ratangda ngena rida majo jadangda Rikpa zempe jebo pensan jen layan peyo kawa jendo she che zomba la tenne chubje nye peyo do chende kusung tu je ten shenpa tang chocha samba zuba son choden gelan zuru je kumpa tenpar sujan tenpar mene je che do juban tenam la Sabdere ya nga zan jen tenpe su tenpe nanen talam lama shi che ce wanggo wa zamo yin teta pe sablam la tenne chubje nye je gonglo jata nye nga shu rangwar mene ve loma na minro la nge para ze jen teta ge nanen che che man yo wa pa pa lo che je gonglo jata nye shu shu Kam to go gun da nye waro shu pe rang shin ge nan jo ma chubje nye ngo lo yin pa je ge lo jata sum jo shu so go we lama je ge lo jata jo nye shu ya kam na chubje nye ngo lo je ge lo jata kayar ga wa shu pa so chubje nye ku ze la nga nye pe ten de je Loma yang ku ze la wang jo wa mang do chen pe chen lap chen ten nye ne yu pe tse ro chen me pa de do chak pa de la ri ju dan nye ju ni so ye pa le tang po ne ru pe wang jo chak sang pa ne ten zen nga wa nyen da sang po le ju den za we la men par do chen pa tang Nipa ne pa pa do che chen po ten ye sha pa le te shin do ni do ri da la ten ne tse ro pa tse ro do tu ye pa pe te je de Ten rinzen chenpo che che lingpe terjen tang 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 do zho pe wang zho chenpo cha pe za pe tse zho ni ju te te da pe ta ten tang tang song zho ki gom ne chen men tse wang go wa che pa la lo pen ji cha wa tang lo ma la cha wa ni so ye pa le lo pen ji cha wa le pa zho pa sin ne Ta lo ma la wang go we rin pa ye te la ya jong ye che sum le jo we rin pa la men tra po shin so te pa ngun do zho go pe la ma na la pe la ta mi te pe chen ga ra Sawa samo shive yondo mi de menda shimbu wara shu Benza mbu me aung shi yonzo daba wang shi se je sa shi Benza rige aung Jen jaren goyo gen gowe zo re jabo re ra le bambo lo zambo le no balance jan da me ne ma da la da me banjo bazon zo ba ma za wa me ba de ne de so sa tam je je ngo mo je ma zong de la ma dam be shang ne je ma sa mo shu yun do ju do je ro e dun do je zo chen ne jin je lam do zo
Ban tổ chức đã gửi cái bài cầu nguyện trường thọ theo truyền thống Thangtong Gyalpo vào trong cửa sổ chat. Các đạo hữu Việt Nam có thể copy lại, lưu lại ở trên máy tính, máy điện thoại của mình để chúng ta sử dụng, chúng ta hành trì.
For after the mandala offering is the requesting line, so repeat after me these lines. Kunjin Yishe, Pumboje, Sibe Kolo, Namjongwa, Tirin Shebe, Rinjender, Zo Dala, Gadenzo, Chisha Bemo, Panene, Zo Shenla, Jamache, Joe Bao, Tujenji, Lojo Dala, Nawarazu, Gunjen Yishe, Pumboje, Sibe Kolo, Namjongwa, Tirin Shebe, Rinjender, Zo Dala, Gadenzo, Chisha Bemo, Panene, Zo Shenla, Jamache, Joe Bao, Tujenji, Lojo Dala, Nawarazu, Gunjen Yishe, Pumboje, Sibe Kolo, Namjongwa, Tirin Shebe, Rinjender, Zo Dala, Gadenzo, Chisha Bemo, Panene, Zo Shenla, Jamache, Joe Bao, Tujenji, Lojo Dala, Nawarazu. Tedara Zoa da Nanju Tabaja, the Dunyan Zoa Lamada, Nizumebe Chime, Lazola, Zazum Javara, Junjiko, Jimbon Tiba, Musoshi Janga Namjia, Gozo, Goza, Quadom, Sava, Dibasha, Barasoba, Yellow Dumbagio, Nyambergo, and Dijin, the Janla Zooms. Now for the purification prayer, visualize that in front of you or the master is none other than the Amitayus.
Không gì khác với Đức Phật Vô Lượng Thọ. Và chúng ta quán tưởng Đức Pháp Vương không tách rời với Đức Phật Vô Lượng Thọ.
Surrounded by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. In front of them, yourself, along with all the sentient beings together confessing all your negative deeds. So with this visualization, you repeat the so we repeat the sevenfold prayers with me. Kunjo Sumla, Dajabje, Digba Tamje, Sosorisha, Droe Gela, Jeirang, Sanje Chanju, Yigi Sung, Sanje Chedang, Sojala, Chanju Pardo, Japsuche, Rangshen Tene, Rabruche, Chanju Semne, Jebaraje, Chanju Chogi, Semne Jegine, Semjen Tamje, Dagi Rondonier, Chanju Jojo, Yuon Jebaraje, Dola Penjer, Sanje Dubarsho, Kunjo Sumla, Dajabche, Digba Tamje, Sosorsha, Droe Gela, Jeirang, Sanje Chanju, Yigi Sung, Sanje Chedang, Sojala, Chanju Pardo, Japsuche, Rangshen Tene, Rabruche, Chanju Semne, Jebaraje, Chanju Choge, Semne Jegine, Semjen Tamje, Dagi Rondonier, Chanju Jojo, Yuon Jebaraje, Dola Penjer, Sanje Dubarsho, Kunjo Sumla, Dajabche, Digba Tamje, Sosorsha, Droe Gela, Jeirang, Sanje Chanju, Yigi Sung, Sanje Chedang, Sojala, Chanju Pardo, Japsuche, Rangshen Tene, Rabruche, Chanju Semne, Jebaraje, Chanju Choge, Semne Jegine, Semjen Tamje, Dagi Rondonier, Chanju Jojo, Yuon Jebaraje, Dola Penjer, Sanje Dubarasho. 이제 유 다바지나 지나나라 왕고와다 지면 쯔르바라 파제서지 두두메 바디시도 나와라 쇼로바라니 기지게 단데마 바 샤좀 샤로바 사회샤마 예장 예마지도 다고 송기 젬바 오다 감세 진도즈 바차 예수나도 제카람 거라리 예수나도 도 지션도 바샤제 루지기는 바지 바샤샤와지 샤르라 지송 바 제솜솜바 미고 감르 다게 셴제 루이지 바 이시기메 바나 슈베 고진도 람지 사회 고송도 진네다 법에 보가 탐지 다란도 조 제와 고체와라서 중화들을 자연들에서 사지 바나 남게 캠바스도 주대 지나나라 왕고와다 지메생으로 토바지바라 포도 집에 게달로 버를 바tum제 장아렌도 기지기 제자서 바로도 제베 바라즈. Now for the main part of the initiation, we have to visualize that the Guru is none other than the Hayagiva, red in color, 3 face, 6 hands. The main face is red, the right face is green, the left face is white. On the top of the head, on the crown of the head is the horse head. Also 3 heads. Golden blonde hair, all standing up. So 6 hands. The first
tay.
right hand is holding a
Tay
Vajra,
phải
second
cầm một cái chày
right
kim
hand is
cương.
holding
Tay
a
trái phải thứ
Khatamka,
hai cầm
and
một
the
cái
third right hand is holding a sword.
Kadamka, và
The first left hand
một
is
cái kiếm.
doing
Tay
a
trái
digzup, means subduing gesture. The second left hand is holding a short spear,
thì cầm một cái
and third left hand is holding a
tay phải thứ ba, tay trái thứ
rope
ba
or
một cái sợi
garland which made of yuma, intestines.
Đức Pháp Vương
And he has
tìm
8
từ
legs,
miêu tả, và có 8 chân,
all spread outside, spread
tất
out,
cả chân đều chuỗi duỗi
with
ra ngoài.
fangs.
Cái răng
And
nanh rất là to.
each of three face has
mỗi một mặt thì có
3
mỗi một mặt
eyes,
thì có ba mắt.
All adorned with a dry bone skulls garland,
có cái
wearing a
chuỗi
tiger skin
xương,
skirt,
có cái
also wearing
da hổ,
a garland of nagas that we made of eight nagas
mỗi một
joined to each
phần
other.
thân thì là có 8,
And
có cái
also
chuỗi
sitting in
8
a
con rắn
Vajrayana
nối
fire.
với nhau, và chúng ta có cái vòng lửa ở bên ngoài.
And after this visualization, from the master's forehead, from the throat, from the heart,
và nơi tim của đạo sư,
many smaller Hayagivas comes out.
Các vị Mã Đầu Minh Vương nhỏ xuất hiện.
And now these Hayagivas are now dissolving into your body.
Các vị Mã Đầu Minh Vương hòa
You are
tan vào
now
thân của chúng
receiving
ta.
the longevity
Và bây giờ chúng ta nhận được cái sự trường thọ, những cái hạt giống trường thọ gia trì.
And also drives out all the obstacles for your long life.
Tất cả những cái chướng ngại dẫn đến cái việc không trường thọ của chúng ta.
대다지라나 왕고나 지메 들어봐라 포도 집에 걔나 로바든 바 소돔제 장나도 전에 왕경 싫어도 되든 뭐 받으시 나와라죠. 이제 이거에서 주변 원주 통통제 뭐 곤도 뭐나 세제 바와 우다 미마마 자좀 좀 나자 효월로 절름베 만조제 전님자게다 나 왕도다 아니 왕도다 니스메베 지메제 본바바성이 가지메 발제 손신 다그 쳔바 남바 레가지나서 지마메버서 레다 이마베 되나 지모든 게 쇼베 오주도 나와다야 마사 Drugo chalo nyamshaki sabon zemba dimbatande masa ye bemezo yido zomba yunduba taki konga tuma shabiye kumshin yun jemba taki chumbe turuki chi jemba tukara lopen pema jungne kondo karma doje tepa zemba pyoga chuk yeso agi paranido nyensho sowa doje jimarungi shoba chigo dolama idan bawa kondo chujun soma lawa wangwe rikba zemba tamche jimbon tepa tabi shingar chimese ngoro shuwele sowa tepa di jende ze. So now you have to visualize that in the front of you the Trubjen Thangtong Gyalpo,
Đức Thangtong Gyalpo,
darkish color,
thân màu sẫm,
in a form of 100 years old form.
Trong thân tướng của một vị 100 tuổi.
Two hands are in a meditation posture.
Hai tay ở trong tư thế
holding
thiền định.
A longevity vase.
Và trì một cái bình trường thọ.
And sitting on a skin, animal skin
ngồi trên một cái da
cushion
của thú vật.
And all the deities on
Và
top
tất
of
cả
each
chư
other,
vị
now
bổn
on the
tôn
top of
ở phía trên đỉnh
the
đầu
Thangtong Gyalpo. So
của ngài
one should
Thangtong
do this
Gyalpo.
visualization.
Chúng
So
ta
with
quán
this
tưởng như vậy.
visualization,
Với
repeat
cái sự quán tưởng như vậy thì chúng ta
this line
lặp lại
after me.
những cái dòng
Shi,
sau đây
shi,
theo đạo
shi.
sư. Chúng ta lặp lại theo đạo sư.
Nawa thaye, drogin jesojong, sepa megem, drola chimeder, tandre wanja, droya pajeser, pema jungne, nidu droya jab, Thangtong Gyalpo, soda luame, soa deso, gajen pajeso, chinji loshi, chime ngodubzo, shi, nawa thaye, drogin jesojong, sepa megem, drola chimeder, tandre wanja, droya pajeser, pema jungne, nidu droya jab, Thangtong Gyalpo, soda luame, soa deso, gajen pajeso, chinji loshi, chime ngodubzo, shi, nawa thaye, drogin jesojong, sepa megem, drola chimeder, tandre wanja, droya pajeser, pema june, nidu droya jab, Thangtong Gyalpo, soda luame, soa deso, gajen pajeso, chinji loshi, chime ngodubzo. 대다라 소화 대바라든 하존지 두간에 세파도메 바드레자지 라마 이담선이 주스마 탐지 도주고 제반도 저 대화 중에 신경 넣으시고 공부 바도메 바다 된 저지든지 코너 예배인데 도스 좀 된데 공부 세자 이제 바도메 바시는 게 바스지 이제보다 로나 바레베마야 자이나 집에 중에 베마 중나 소바 도나 세르 바즈미니 벨 하달로다 장성의 소남다 저라도 라마 시르 제 하조 거던 제반은 도주고 대남지 도주고 니즈비 시징 오이 바란담 바여서 가던 나서 바도메 바주네 제보 선배고 법보가 원보관으로 도스모라 가면 저서 심으로 잡으면 시스템에 치매쟁으로 도배며 번져. So after that recitation, now we visualize that from in front of you is the Thangtong Gyalpo and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and all the longevity deities. Light rays issues out from them. It goes to all the 10 directions. And invokes all the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, especially the blessings of the Amitayus.
Của Đức Phật Vô Lượng Thọ.
And all the longevity basically goes to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and especially all the longevity deities like Amitayus and all the other Buddhas. And from their heart, light rays comes out, multicolored light rays comes out. Now these light rays are going through the crown of your head into yourself. Now all your body is now filled with these lights. Now these how do you say? Everything is now dissolving into all these lights are now dissolving into you, and your body is filled with these lights. So one should do this visualization. Rangi so je shenpe long da yi je te shenpa jingi she dan she je long sum ye pawe driba chala Andila chabe jikba cheba dan la she te taki pacha ki rang so so chala sobe nambara sharwa kanya yang shin kyamba de je jumba chewa malu ba dan nila soba yiru da chala so ge so chala vese de ge go da yiru chasang chashi da zela sobe nam de ge go de Nyinge tse dan dan chobi ze nala tembe la me ze tam je so ju jin chimi jing ru to Duzhe namje chime ki duzhe rangshin do jube me banze. riêng cảm ơn chúng ma siêu lên giờ man đồ chơi rì gia khăn đồ bùm đàn chân sẽ ta chơi mua khăn đồ số nam đồ chơi sẽ cho cô bé lên giờ chơi mà ra nên chơi đại số riêng sẽ mua chúng ma siêu lên giờ mà rì gia khăn đồ bùm đàn chân sẽ ta chơi mua khăn đồ số nam đồ chơi sẽ cho cô bé lên giờ chơi mà ra nên chơi đại số mama yuma wande le zema pema rije kandro bumdan je zada jemo kandro zonam je ndo je zeja gubele zeje mama rane zenda yezo she ngoma yuma trabele zema leje rije kandro bumdan je zada jemo kandro zonam je ndo je zeja gubele zeje Omamarane zenda yeso zaje lama yedam kandro ye toda nebe chen la bongjen gaje ne den de de jangwa dan zada yishe chime ngro zo she so de betene charanam ge seje de bele to de me bodi chino na wara jo loben la kudu robe tombe chebe tuga ne esel mabo 자기도 보바도 메바저 동숨기 동좀 지리지 감동절하게 대단한 남가 내배 되게 머롱 버시는 놈 길라제 그바 키라바 예와 님도 주번도 뱀에도 보지는 게 증하다 제단 something 집에서 소 조바 담제 가을랭기 되 자제 되바다 라오메 바고 되 접도 집에 차게 제 본변도 쇼바로 조 대진도에서 대 중화시에 감동절하게 베리게 버르서서 기르되는 실인데 고유노 자기 리본나 네베 사예주 사신 대바 탐제단 지 여zo 좀 보려 저도 건강라서 배치고 주노 좀 전바 좀이라 소바 시 주기고라 도기 바지 주주 년주도 되러라서 탐제단 당당이메다 유메다 소용메다 더바도 소바도 좀 매진다 인도 보여라서 매 주저진 장다 스지 무슨 소바 탐제단 오기시 롱게 보발라 대대 이제 통도 일에 통도 일에 집에 롱다 지로를 벨레다 이제 롱데 야신 여와 롱게 주 양서 통된 탐제단 주게 숨전 앞에 배지로 탐제 제바도 야진데기 베른다도 내게 제바도 도den기 리버즈 발라서 베젠젠 네도 스제 탐제나 중대는 공부서다 이제 바담 벨하도도 이라마 이담 상제 장선 바와 컨트롤 탐제기 진전의 배연에서 다다 탐제에서 카동에 넘버고 되잖아 조바 조도 전배 자기 분배 제반도 쇼 델라 제라남지 나 그도 잡아 먹어 동보진 제바라 때문에 분배 되즈 코신려 하자남지 고래래 전 되즈 임바 현도 프로그램에 보시라는 게 집어서 보관을 쇼 리기 난가 자칸도 제라 제베 처음에 베세 그밤에 벨란조 다데 준전도 저 공부서다 이제 뭐도 메베 지면체 영어로 도바 메반즈 now
bây giờ
with the great devotion when you look
với
at
cái
your
lòng
master
sùng
or
mộ
the
với đạo
deity
sư và với bổn tôn
from their heart
từ nơi
red
của
light
đạo
comes
sư và
out
bổn tôn ánh sáng đỏ xuất
and
hiện
goes to all the directions
đi
and
tới
all
mười
your
phương.
if you have any how to say any obstacles to your
Nếu như mà chúng
life
ta có bất
is
cứ một
all
cái chướng
gathered
ngại nào trong
together
cuộc đời của
through
chúng
the
ta,
power of this red light.
Thông qua những cái sức mạnh của ánh sáng màu đỏ này.
And also at the same time
Và
these
đồng
lights
thời,
to all the directions and
ánh sáng
it takes the essence of all
thu
the
nhận tất
power
cả những
of
cái
the
tinh túy,
of energy,
những cái cốt
power,
tủy, những cái năng
knowledge,
lượng, những
wisdom,
cái kiến thức, những
and
cái
all
trí
this
tuệ
now comes back
và quay trở lại
with this red light.
với ánh sáng đỏ này.
The power of the sun, power of the moon,
năng lượng
basically
của
all
mặt trời,
the
mặt
energy
trăng,
and all
tất
the
cả năng lượng,
wisdom, knowledge,
trí tuệ, kiến thức,
how to say, everything is comes back.
tất cả mọi thứ đều quay trở lại.
And now all this power and wisdom, knowledge, it comes back and goes into the longevity was in
đi
here.
vào bình trường thọ ở đây, bình trường thọ ở trước mặt của đạo
And
sư.
through the power of your devotion
Và
and
thông
your
qua cái sức
prayers,
mạnh của lòng sùng mộ và lòng
again
sự
light
cầu nguyện
rays
của
comes
chúng
out from all the Buddhas and
ta. Ánh
Bodhisattvas.
sáng xuất hiện từ tất cả chư Phật chư Bồ Tát.
And then nectars comes out
Và dòng cam
from
lồ
their
xuất
body.
hiện từ
And now
cơ thể
these
của chư
nectars
vị.
are now
Và
going into your body.
dòng cam lộ đó đi vào trong cơ
And
thể
now
của
your
chúng
body
ta.
is filled with nectar.
Và cơ thể của chúng ta bây giờ tràn ngập
Also
dòng cam
it
lộ.
fills your entire vein.
Và trong tất cả các dòng kinh mạch của chúng ta đều tràn ngập cam lồ.
So one should do this visualization.
Và chúng ta cần phải quán tưởng như vậy.
Now visualize that this longevity vase is placed on your head.
Chúng ta quán tưởng là cái hình thọ bây giờ được đặt ở trên đỉnh đầu của chúng ta.
So you are not just getting the through the power of this prayers or through the power of this practice. It's not, you are not just gaining longevity, long life, but also all the wisdom, knowledge, energy. So everything is you are getting, not just your long life.
Không phải chỉ là sự trường thọ của chúng ta.
Tene tse ribu tabda ze kiranamgi cha yesu pawala tene tab dewa chumbe chodo miyo doje tse ngodo tobe me bara. So the Buddha's practice is basically how to say, you can sum up in two things. One is method and wisdom. So this longevity pill represents the method. So when you take this pill, you're receiving the methods. And you take this pill on your right hand or right palm. When you receive the pill, always receive it on the right hand. So now this nectar is symbolizing the wisdom. So when you take this, receive this nectar, you always receive it on your left hand. So as you drink this, you visualize that you are getting all the energy, all the longevity for yourself.
Và trí tuệ.
Gombo Zeba Mela, Choju Sanji, that you some Botella, reports the Hazo Consum, Tenju, Medoga Chabish, and Trashi So now, since we have all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the longevity deities visualized in front of you, so we will do an offering to them. Jimbet of Jay Sanjay Yadaba, me Sange Sanjay Dola, the Niji Jinga, Jubana, Jimbet of Jay. Rane Rabajo, Jimbato Jensen, Bevajo, Surim to Jasonia Yandaba, Mizing, Surin to the Nijing, Jubana, Surim, the Rane Rabajo, Surim to Jensen, Bevajo, Subato Jasonia Yandaba, Mizing, Subato, the Nijing, Jubana, Subato Rane Rabajo, Subato Jensen, Bevajo, the Zuru to Jasonia Yandaba, Mizing, Zuru to the Nijing, Jubana, Zuru to Rane Rabajo, Zuru to Jensen, Bevajo, Subato Jasonia Yandaba, Mizing, Jasonia to the Nijing, Jubana, Dane Raba, something to Jerona Rabajo, something to Jensen, Bevajo, Shirado, Jesonja, and the Barmazing, Shirado, and Jessica, Jubana, Shirado, Jerona Rabajo, Shirado, Jensen, Pervarajo, Pelamiratan, Joseph, and Shazam, Hiroshima. Gila Chebe Tashi, so they walking a shell of us, and the now, here is the conclusion part.
Giờ là cái phần kết hành. Chúng ta bị mất tiếng của Đức Pháp Vương.
Promise to keep whatever samayas you have received during this initiation, so you will repeat out me these lines, and after that is the mandala offering, and finally is the dedication prayer. So repeat out me these lines. Zoyo Chidaram, Kazawa, Teda Damje, Dagiji, Zoyo Chidaram, Kazawa, Teda Damje, Dagiji, Zoyo Chidaram, Kazawa, Teda Damje, Dagiji, the Samasuma Levato Bekarin Taragi and the Midem and Shimbo Warajo. Bome Wanje, Daba Wanje, Zaje, Zaje, Banzarige, Wanje, Jare, Goyoge, Goezo, Rejabore, Raja, Lebambo, Lo, Zamboleno, Balanje,
với nước thơm và trải đầy hoa trắng. ngài Lama Chedam Rinpoche làm thủ trưởng nước Pháp Vương, với các Lama và các đạo hữu Australia.
Geba ma dewa ma lo ma gara ma dobe ma medo ma me ma deja ma nye ma da wa rinpoche do chole nambara yave janzen la da mi banjo bezon zoba ma zanwa me ba denye de tamje ye ngo zume bande lama tambe shangane zawa zawa zubo kare dara ge yondo wa jiwo do je rowe dendo she so so shene jinje la do so Teta mera do masa lopen la lu noje tuje ya bone cha she na she la so long je do so nye be kone de jin de yang le song len je do song wa ra sho de ne zam de da den do je la da ne bo la che ge lo ma ra song wa da ja ja ne je do so de ne zam de da che la da ne bo la na je ge lo ma song wa da ja ja ne je do so de ne zam de da den do che la da ne bo la Chege lomara sonwa da jaye jane je do zo de gona chime sonwa sonba le bazba po ayembe rangshin ge de jun ruba da tele jun ge za ba sa ba na je chonjo nim bo yong sonwa wa len je do ze bara jo sonam de dam je ze ba dam ne nye be da na ban je Kiega na je balon do bae sebe zole do bara shos. So through this way we have completed the long life initiation and also it concludes my program here in Canberra. And I'm very happy that I could be here. To see you all and to meet Rinpoche and to see such a beautiful temple built here. It was such a blessing that I could come here and receive, how to say, to be part of this temple. My main practice is, of course, my guru's wishes. My guru's wishes are always to be practice the tolerance, practice compassion, to practice your daily life, to make your daily life more meaningful, more better. So I always try to follow that. Because if you think that if you want the whole world to be a better place, to be a peaceful place, to be a more tolerant, more compassionate place, then first we need to be more tolerant, we need to be more compassionate, we need to be more open to others. So unless and until we do that, then we cannot achieve this goal. It always starts with our own practice. So that is, I think, very important part. And if you think about it, the whole world that we know as we know it, it only exists because of me or because of you, because of ourselves. Because the whole world as we know is only exists for me it exists in my mind. For each one of you exists in your own mind. Because even though it could be one simple thing, could be one tree, one could be one house, whatever it is. Now, 100 different people look at this object. 100 different people will have their own view on this object. So that kind of proves that we all live in our own world. We are all kings and queens of our own world, basically. So we are the most important people or important person in this world. So if you
Nếu
are
như
happy,
mà chúng
or
ta
if
hạnh
you
phúc,
are, I would not really like to say happy because
thầy không muốn sử dụng cái từ
if
hạnh
you
phúc,
are
từ happy.
peace,
Nếu
at
như mà chúng ta
peace,
bình
if you are
an,
not
chúng ta được
angry,
an
if you are
lạc,
not
chúng
going
ta
through all these
không bị
different
trải qua những
emotions,
cái khó khăn, những cái
then the
cảm xúc
whole world
nhiễm
is
ô,
a good
cả thế
place.
giới
If you are
là
not
an lạc, an bình.
happy, or if you are going
Nếu như
through
mà chúng
different
ta không
emotions,
hạnh
the
phúc,
whole
chúng
world
ta trải qua những cái cảm xúc khác
is a
nhau.
not good place. So it always starts with your own practice. That's why one should always think like this.
Nếu như mà chúng ta
One
suy
should
nghĩ như
always
vậy,
put yourself
chúng ta
in the
luôn luôn đặt
center
bản thân
and
mình
then
ở nơi
think
trung tâm,
according to that. So
và
that way everything makes more sense.
mọi thứ
Everything
sẽ
will
trở
be
nên có
much
ý
more
nghĩa
clearer
hơn,
to you.
có trở nên trong sáng hơn đối với chúng ta.
To have a more
Để
meaningful life,
có
normally
một cái
I
cuộc
always
sống ý
give
nghĩa hơn,
two
chúng ta
things
luôn
that
luôn có hai
is
điều
important to me.
có rất là quan trọng đối với
And
thầy.
it's also the way I practice
Cái
is
cách
first
thức mà
thing is
thầy
to have a
thực
good
hành,
balance
trước tiên
between
là cần phải có sự cân bằng.
your work life, family
Cuộc sống,
life,
cân bằng giữa cuộc
practice
sống và
life,
cân bằng giữa công việc,
whatever
cân bằng giữa
whatever
việc
you
tu tập.
do, too much of
Bất cứ
anything
cái điều
in
gì
this
mà chúng
world
ta
is
làm
not
quá
good.
nhiều đều không tốt.
Literally, too much medicine is
Về mặt
becomes poison.
về mặt
Too
nghĩa
much
đen,
exercise,
uống
you
quá
are
nhiều thuốc
physically
cũng không tốt,
you will
tập thể
not
dục
be
quá nhiều cũng không
possible.
tốt,
Too much prayer, you
quá nhiều cầu
will
nguyện cũng
get
không tốt.
tired and you
Chúng ta
will
sẽ
won't
mệt
be
và
able
chúng
to
ta
do
sẽ
it. Too much
chán.
of literally too much of
Và
love, too much
về
of
mặt nghĩa đen mà
anything
nói
in
cái
this world
gì mà
is
quá
not
nhiều
good.
cũng đều không tốt.
Too much of love, when I say
Quá nhiều tình yêu cũng không tốt.
when you hug your loved ones
Khi mà
for
chúng ta ôm
first 2
người
seconds
yêu
is
của
good,
chúng ta
then
1-2
after
giây
2
thì
seconds
tốt.
it becomes
Nhưng mà
hot,
sau
it becomes
2 giây
awkward,
thì
it
bắt đầu là
becomes
khó chịu.
not so good.
Và
So
càng lâu thì lại càng khó
so
chịu rồi.
basically too much
Như
of
vậy thì
anything,
về mặt cơ
literally
bản,
too much
cái
of
gì mà
prayer
quá
also
nhiều,
is not good,
kể cả là
because
quá nhiều cái sự cầu
physically
nguyện
is
cũng
not
không tốt.
possible. So
Bởi vì về mặt vật lý,
you
về mặt cơ
must have
thể
a
của
good
chúng ta là
balance,
không
and of
thể.
course that balance
Như
is
vậy là chúng ta
totally
cần sự
dependent
cân bằng.
on individuals.
Cân
Too
bằng
much
trong
of
mỗi
work
chúng
is
ta,
not good, too
cân
much
bằng
of
về
family
công
life is
việc,
not
cân
good, too
bằng
much
về
of
cuộc
anything
sống,
basically.
cân bằng về
The second one is very simple,
về việc tu tập.
but yet very powerful. I mean,
Một cái
almost
điều thứ hai rất là quan trọng,
it
rất là
is
đơn giản và rất là quan trọng.
so simple yet so powerful,
Rất đơn
is
giản nhưng lại rất
practicing
mạnh mẽ.
acceptance.
Đó là sự thực hành việc biết
All
chấp
our
nhất,
problems
biết đủ.
as we know it right now
Cái điều mà chúng ta
are
biết
in
bây
the
giờ,
future.
trong tương
We are
lai.
not worried about right now, but we are
Bây
always
giờ
worried
thì
about
chúng
future.
ta-
Or tomorrow, if I lose my job, tomorrow
Nếu như mà
if I
chúng
had
ta
this
mất
something
công
happens,
việc của
tomorrow
chúng ta,
if my loved ones get
chúng ta
sick,
mất
tomorrow
người thân của
I
chúng
may
ta,
have
ngày mai người
some
thân của
kind.
chúng ta bị ốm
So
chẳng
all
hạn.
these things are
Tất cả
in
những
the
điều
future.
đó có thể xảy ra
So
trong tương lai.
when you bring
vậy, khi
your
mà
mind
chúng
to
ta,
the present,
kéo
or
cái tâm của
you
chúng
as
ta
you
quay trở lại hiện
meditate
tại,
on
chúng ta
which is
thực hành,
practiced through
chúng ta thực
the
hành thiền,
walking meditation or
chúng ta
any
thực
source of
hành
meditation. But
bất
what
cứ
is
một cái biện pháp
how
thiền nào.
the first thing? Of course, there are many benefits to meditation.
Thông qua
The
cái
one
việc
the
thực hành,
first thing
thì
it
một
does is
điều
that
cân
it
bằng đầu
brings
tiên
your mind
là
to
chúng ta
present.
kéo tâm của chúng ta quay trở lại
And
giây
that
phút hiện
means
tại,
all
an trú ở trong hiện
90%
tại.
or
Có nghĩa là
95% of
80
your
hoặc 90%
suffering is gone,
tất cả những khổ đau của
because
chúng ta
they
đều
are
bị
all
mất.
in the
Bởi
future.
vì khổ đau của chúng ta đều ở
Something
trong
may
tương
or
lai.
may whatever
Một thứ
might
nào
happen
đó
or
có
may
thể xảy
happen,
ra hoặc có thể
then
xảy
you
ra,
are
sẽ
not
xảy ra.
thinking about that. You
Và
are
chúng
thinking
ta sẽ
about
không suy
right
nghĩ về
now.
tương
So
lai nữa,
the
mà chúng ta
most
chỉ
of
suy
the
nghĩ về hiện tại thôi.
problems are already
Thì phần lớn
automatically solved.
các
So
vấn đề đều
that
được
is
giải
why
quyết. Thì đó là lý do vì
concentrating
sao
on
chúng ta cần
like
phải
for
rèn luyện
example
cái việc
practicing on vipassana. All these are
từ thực
basically
hành
concentrating
thiền,
on an object.
thiền tuệ,
That's how they
vipassana.
start, and that's how you feel peace.
Khi đó thì
Because
chúng ta
now
sẽ
you
cảm
are
thấy
not
sự an
worried
lạc.
about the
Chúng ta
future
không
things,
lo lắng
because
về
your
tương lai.
mind in present,
Bởi vì
and
chúng
your
ta kéo
mind
tâm của
when
chúng
you
ta
are
lại
in the
hiện
present
tại.
you are
Khi
calm.
mà tâm của chúng ta đang ở trong
Your
hiện tại,
mind
tâm
is
của chúng
calm.
ta an
So
lạc.
one is the biggest
Thì
benefit of
một trong
being
những cái lợi
calm
lạc lớn
mind
nhất
is
đấy
that
là
then
cái
you
tâm
make
an lạc của chúng ta,
rational decisions.
là chúng ta sẽ tạo ra được những cái quyết định
You're
đúng
not
đắn, quyết định có
when
lý
you
trí,
make
quyết định có
decisions
trí
when
tuệ.
you're happy,
Là
you are
khi mà
making
chúng ta có
maybe
quyết định có trí
like
tuệ, thì
not
dù chúng
really
ta
a
hạnh
good
phúc hay không hạnh phúc,
decisions. When you are
quyết định tốt hay
emotionally
quyết định không tốt,
going through
cảm xúc của
difficult
chúng ta
times,
trải
then you
qua một
cannot
giai đoạn
make
khó khăn
decisions
hay
because then
không.
you are making not really based
Khi mà
on
chúng ta
the reality. So when your mind is calm,
Khi mà tâm
then
của
you
chúng
can
ta
make
an lạc,
rational
thì
decisions,
chúng ta có thể đưa
and
ra những
that's
quyết định đúng
how
đắn.
we'll have a much more
Và khi
sustainable,
đó
much more
chúng ta sẽ
better,
có một cái cuộc sống ổn định, bền vững,
how to say, much more meaningful life
ý
one
nghĩa
can
hơn.
lead. So
Để có thể có một
there
cuộc
are
sống tốt
so
đẹp
many
hơn.
benefits.
Như vậy là có rất nhiều lợi lạc.
For example, myself,
Bản thân tôi,
I have to accept that
thầy
I'm
phải chấp nhận
46 years old.
là thầy đã 46
As
tuổi
soon
rồi.
as I accept
Và
that,
khi mà thầy chấp
then
nhận
I
là
will have
thầy
a much
46
more
tuổi rồi,
peaceful
thầy
mind.
sẽ có một cái tâm
Now,
thức an
if
lạc
I
hơn,
try
tâm
to,
lực an lực ổn định hơn.
exercise,
Thầy
diet,
cố gắng tập thể dục,
medication, all
ăn uống
kinds
điều
of
động,
things to my
ăn
body,
uống
and
điều độ,
if I want
thiền
to be
định.
20 years
Nếu
old,
như mà thầy
I
muốn 20
cannot
năm
be
tuổi
20
trẻ
years
hơn,
old
thì
in
thầy cũng
this
không
life.
thể
That's
20
gone.
năm tuổi trẻ hơn ở trong
No
cuộc đời
matter
này nữa.
whatever I
Dù bất
do,
cứ một
no
cái
matter
điều gì mà thầy
whatever I
làm,
do,
dù
I
bất cứ
cannot
điều
be
gì thầy
20
làm, thầy
years
cũng
old.
không thể nào
Now
mà trẻ
I
hơn
have
20
to
tuổi được.
come to terms with that. I have to
Thầy phải chấp
accept
nhận
that.
điều đó.
The sooner I accept
Và
that,
khi mà thầy chấp
the
nhận điều
sooner
đó
I
thì
will be at peace.
thầy sẽ được an
Similarly,
lạc.
my
Tương tự như
skin
vậy,
color,
màu
my
da của
shape,
thầy,
my
hình tướng của
practice,
thầy,
my
việc thực hành
family,
của thầy,
my
gia đình của thầy,
whatever that
bất
I
cứ
have,
một cái điều
I
gì
have
mà
to
thầy
accept.
có,
But
thầy
that
phải
does
chấp
not
nhận.
mean that
Nhưng mà
one
điều đó
should
không
not
có nghĩa là
improve.
ta không
One
cải
should
thiện
not
nó,
make
ta
your
không
try to be
là cố
a
gắng
healthier life,
để
to have a
sống một
better
cuộc đời
family,
mạnh
to
khỏe
have a
hơn,
better.
sống một cuộc đời tốt đẹp hơn.
It does not mean that one should not improve. But
Điều
yet
đó không
you
có nghĩa
should
là
try
chúng ta
that,
không cải
but
thiện cuộc
with
sống của chúng ta.
acceptance.
Nhưng mà
If
chúng
you say,
ta
"Oh, right
chấp
now
nhận
my
cải
life
thiện
is
và
terrible. I
chấp
look
nhận.
like I look whatever I am, and I want to be, I'm not good and all that."
Bây giờ thì chúng ta
Then
hay phàn nàn rằng là chúng
there's
ta không
no,
được
how
đẹp
to
như
say,
là chúng ta mong muốn, chúng ta không được
there's
trẻ
no
khỏe như
end to
chúng ta
that.
mong
Basically,
muốn.
what I'm trying to say.
Điều đó thì không có nghĩa là kết thúc mọi thứ.
You will always be running after something
Chúng
that
ta luôn
we
luôn
have
theo
been
đuổi một cái
running.
điều gì đó, chúng ta luôn luôn chạy theo một cái điều
I
gì đó.
only can give example of
Ví
myself.
dụ bản
Ever
thân
since
của
I
thầy,
can think, I
khi mà
can
thầy có
remember
thể suy nghĩ,
thinking.
thầy có thể ghi nhớ.
Till now, I've been
Và đến
running
tận bây giờ thầy luôn luôn
to
theo đuổi
achieve
một gì đó
something.
để đạt được một cái điều
And
gì
if
đó.
I do not accept
Nếu như
this,
mà thầy
then
không chấp nhận điều đó,
till my death,
thì cho
I
đến khi
will
mà
be
thầy
running
chết,
after something
thầy sẽ luôn luôn theo
which
đuổi
there is
một
no
cái gì
end
đó
to that.
và sẽ không bao giờ
So
có sự
there's
kết
no,
thúc cho việc đó.
I will always be anxious. I will always be worried. I will always be stressed because
Thầy luôn luôn bị sức
I'm
ép,
always thinking about
bởi
tomorrow.
vì thầy luôn luôn nghĩ về
The
về ngày
problem with
mai.
that, biggest problem is
Bởi
tomorrow
vì
there's
ngày
another
mai
tomorrow.
là có một ngày mai
There's no
khác
end to tomorrow.
và
There's
sẽ không bao
no,
giờ có cái sự kết thúc
you
của ngày
cannot
mai
bring
cả.
the future to
Chúng
the
ta sẽ
present
không thể
because
mang
future is
tương lai về
always
hiện
in the
tại.
future,
Bởi
past
vì
is
tương
always
lai
in the
luôn luôn là
past,
tương
present
lai,
is
quá
always
khứ luôn luôn là
present.
quá khứ và
So
hiện tại là hiện tại.
once you bring your
Do vậy,
mind to
khi
your
mà chúng ta
present,
kéo
then
tâm của chúng
you
ta
will
lại vào giây phút hiện
find
tại,
much more
thì
relaxed,
chúng ta sẽ
then
cảm thấy
much more meaningful
thư giãn
life,
hơn,
much more
cảm thấy
better
ý nghĩa
life
hơn, cảm thấy cuộc sống
for
tốt
your
đẹp hơn.
worldly life, for
Với
your
cái cuộc sống thế gian
practice
của chúng
life,
ta,
for
cũng như là cuộc
everything.
sống
It
thực
makes
hành tâm
much
linh của
more
chúng
sense
ta,
to think
của hành
this
cuộc
way.
đời tinh thần của chúng
No,
ta được
through
tốt
the
đẹp
power
hơn.
of acceptance,
Thông qua cái
such a
sức mạnh của
powerful
việc chấp
thing.
nhận, nó rất là
Not
mạnh
just
mẽ.
that, but
Và
all the so-called
tất cả những
suffering
cái
that you
được
are
gọi
going
là
through
khổ
right
đau
now,
trong cuộc sống của chúng ta,
as soon as you accept
khi
that,
mà chúng ta chấp nhận điều đó.
I am 46 years old.
Bây giờ thầy 46 tuổi
As
rồi.
soon as I accept
Trước
that,
khi mà thầy chấp nhận cái điều đó
that is no more a suffering.
thì sẽ không còn khổ
Now,
đau nữa.
suffering is basically, as I said, everything is point of view.
Mọi cái khổ
right?
đau thực
Everything
ra
is
là
your
quan
point
điểm
of
của
view.
chúng ta mà thôi.
So as soon as I accept that,
Khi mà thầy chấp nhận điều đó,
the suffering is no more a
thì
suffering.
khổ đau không còn là khổ đau nữa.
You can tackle through this way. As soon as
Các
you
bạn có thể
accept
suy nghĩ theo cách như
the
vậy. Khi mà
age,
chúng ta
the
chấp
weight,
nhận
the color,
tuổi,
the wealth,
cân nặng,
whatever you have,
màu
as
sắc
soon
của
as you
chúng ta,
accept that,
khi mà chúng ta chấp
is
nhận
no
điều
more
đó,
a suffering
thì nó không
because
còn
you
là
have
khổ đau
accepted
nữa.
that.
Và khi mà chúng ta chấp
For
nhận
example,
rồi,
when you lose
chẳng hạn,
somebody,
khi mà chúng ta mất một
you
người
of
thân
course
chẳng hạn,
feel
chúng ta sẽ
sad,
cảm
you
thấy rất là
cry,
buồn, rất là đau khổ,
you
khóc
cannot
lóc.
eat, you cannot drink,
Chúng ta
you
không
cannot
thể
think,
ăn, không thể uống, không
you
thể
have go
nghĩ,
through all kinds of
không thể nào mà vượt qua
difficulties.
được cái khổ đau đó.
When do you stop
Khi
crying
mà chúng
is
ta
the
dừng
moment
khóc,
when you
đó là cái
accept
khoảnh khắc
that
mà chúng ta
person
chấp nhận
or that pet
cái
or
người
whatever
thân
it is
đó
gone
đã
from
ra
your
đi
life.
rồi,
Is
không
not
còn
coming
ở
back.
trong cuộc đời này nữa.
Now, if you cannot do that,
Nếu như mà chúng ta không làm được
then
việc
that's
đó,
where you struggle.
thì chúng ta sẽ bị
And
bế tắc.
until you could
Cho
do
đến
that
khi
after 24 hours, after
sau
2 days,
24
after 3
tiếng,
days,
sau
after
2
1
ngày,
month,
sau
after
3
1
ngày,
year.
sau 1
But
tháng, sau
as
1 năm.
soon as you accept
Nhưng mà
that,
khi mà chúng ta chấp
then
nhận
you
cái sự
will
thật
not be
đó,
crying, you
thì
will not
chúng ta
be
sẽ không khóc.
getting emotional, and
Chúng
then
ta
you
sẽ
can
không
go
bị
on
cái
with
cảm
your own
xúc,
life. You
đau
can
đớn
function
nữa.
normally. Because
Và
up
chúng ta
until
trở
you
lại là
do
một người
that,
bình thường.
one cannot
Và
function.
kể cả cho đến tận
So
khi mà chúng ta
acceptance is such an
đạt được
powerful
cái trạng thái đó,
tool.
thì
And
chúng ta
also,
không thể
if
hoạt
you
động
think
bình thường
more
được.
deeper, also
chúng ta suy
that
nghĩ sâu sắc hơn,
even to see the true nature
chúng
is
ta
also
thấy
an
được bản chất,
acceptance thing
thì
in
chúng
one
ta,
way. Because
bản
right
chất đó
now
là sự chấp
we
nhận.
cannot accept
Bây
the
giờ
true
chúng ta
nature of
không chấp
everything.
nhận được cái bản chất của mọi
We know it, but we cannot
Chúng ta
accept
biết
it
nó, nhưng mà chúng ta không
because
chấp
we
nhận được
don't
nó.
believe
Bởi vì
100%.
chúng ta không tin vào điều đó 100%.
We may want to believe it,
Chúng ta
but
muốn người
because
khác tin vào
our
điều đó,
selfish
nhưng
thoughts
mà bản
is
thân của
bringing
chúng
you
ta,
back,
những cái suy nghĩ ích kỷ của
we
chúng
still
ta,
want
chúng ta vẫn
how
muốn
to say, the wealth and power, the
cái
position
sự
and all
giàu
these
có,
things,
sức mạnh,
because
rồi tất
we
cả mọi
don't
thứ.
understand. We
Bởi
believe.
vì chúng ta
Why do
không
we
hiểu.
want money?
Chúng ta nghĩ tại
Why do
sao
we
chúng ta lại
want
muốn
wealth?
tiền?
Why do we
Tại
want
sao lại
power?
chúng
Why
ta
do we
muốn sức
want
mạnh?
whatever we want is that we think that after achieving certain things or whatever it is, then you will find peace. You are not running after wealth or power because of you want wealth and power. Because if you think more further, then you will realize that you want power so that you feel safe. You will feel more, after that, then you will be more peace. After achieving a certain wealth, then you feel, then I will be more peace and more happier, more safe, basically. So that is what you are wanting, but without, since we've been wanting this for so long, we have forgotten that what we actually want. We just want. I want this, I want that. But actually, if you ask yourself, I think it's also important to ask oneself, whatever you think that you want, what is the result? After if I get that, then what will happen? Then that's also a so these are the methods. These are all methods. Every practice we do, every sadhana, every ritual, every retreat, every meditation, this is all methods. This all comes under method. And once you achieve through using these methods, then your goal is to achieve, to see the true nature of everything as it is, the truth, to see the truth basically. And basically Buddha's teaching is all about truth. The first teaching he did in Varanasi after attaining enlightenment is about the truth. So the truth, if once you know the truth, another example I give is that once you know the story of the movie, once you know then you will not be so emotional. When you watch the movie first time, when you see emotional things, you cry. When you see anxious things, scary things, you get scared. When you see funny things, you laugh. When you see whatever is coming in front of you, because you don't know and you are feeling it for the first time, then you go through all these emotions. But if you watch the same movie 10 times, you are not going to go through all these emotions just like you watched for the first time, because you already know. So the knowledge. So this is I'm talking about in such a simple thing. But if you the logic is same. If you keep the same logic, use that in a bigger for your life, then you will see that with knowledge, if you know, right now because we are afraid of death, we are afraid of many things, because we don't know what's going to happen. Because of unknowing. That's why you are afraid. We are afraid of dark. We are something evil spirit or some animal or something may. As soon as it becomes dark, totally dark or kind of darkish, your mind now tells you, oh, there might be a snake, there might be a spider, there might be a dangerous animals, there might be a hole, there might be a tree, there might be a hole. I mean, all kinds of things goes into mind. That's why you are, each step you will take, you will be very careful. At the same place, if you can see, for example, daytime, you can be running at that same place, but at night, if you walk, if you can't see anything, totally dark, then you will be walking each step, you will be taking very carefully, because that's like, similarly, the awakening or the light rays that one can generate, though you have to become your own. Buddha's teaching says that you have to become your own light, basically. If you follow somebody else's light, then as soon as the other person goes to different direction, you are left in the dark. As long as you are going with the other person, that's okay, because there's one light, the other person has the light. But as soon as the other person goes different direction and you are left in the dark, so you have to become your own light. You have to become your own through the wisdom, through the knowledge. Then you become your own through seeing the true nature of everything. Then you become your own light, and then you are awaken, or you get rid of all the darkness, basically. So seeing the truth. So
Và
all
nhận
this
thức
is
được
simple,
sự thật.
basically
Nó rất là đơn
acceptance.
giản,
This
đó là sự chấp nhận.
associates with the acceptance.
Chúng ta chấp
So
nhận thực tại.
acceptance
Chúng ta
in a
tỉnh giác
simple
trong hiện
terms,
tại.
you can think
Và
slowly,
khi
slowly.
mà chúng
Things
ta
are
suy
like
nghĩ
small
một cách chậm chạp
things.
như vậy về sự
But then,
rất
if
là
you
nhỏ bé như
as
vậy.
you go deeper, then you
Và
can
khi mà chúng ta đi sâu hơn,
associate,
chúng ta
or
suy
you
nghĩ
can
sâu
link
hơn,
with
thì
more
chúng ta
deeper
sẽ thấy
meanings.
được
But
mọi cái ý
you
nghĩa
can
sâu sắc hơn.
simple things,
Và đó là những điều rất là
as I
đơn
was
giản.
mentioning before about
Mà
your
chúng
weight,
ta-
your size,
chúng ta
your
không
wealth,
nghĩ
your
về những
family,
cái
your
cân nặng của
everything.
chúng ta, về hình tướng của chúng ta, về gia đình
By
của chúng ta.
acceptance,
Thông qua cái việc chấp nhận như vậy.
because we all know,
Bởi vì tất cả chúng ta đều biết.
for example, we all know
tất
that we
cả
will
chúng ta
die.
đều biết là chúng ta sẽ chết.
There is not a question
Không có một câu hỏi gì cả.
that if
Không có
we
một cái nghi
die,
hoặc gì cả. Tất cả mọi người đều sẽ chết.
this is not a if question.
Đó là một câu hỏi.
It's a very whoever is born will die. There is no if we die or if maybe we'll die. There is not a question. We will all die for sure. But then we are all forgetting that part, and then we plan like we live for thousands of years. So by accepting these things, then everything will make more sense. You will be more relaxed. You will be more happier. You will be more content. You will be more. Your mind will be more calm, basically. So through these practices, then, and our practice is the best gift that we can give it to our masters. No amount. For example, as being a son or being a student, I want to buy gifts to my masters. I literally, I mean, I have no idea what to get him. To get to my masters, because they are beyond their worldly things. The only thing I can think of is socks. Sometimes I buy socks, or sometimes I get belt. And that too also that I can get it back and make it into pieces, and then keep it in and give it to our different students. Other than that, there's literally nothing, because this is also a teach for me. It's a learning moment for me. Because what do I give it to somebody who doesn't need anything, who doesn't want anything? What do I give to? We think that people, if let's say somebody living on the street, or we live in a house building, or air conditioned, or everything is so nice, or we are so great, or these poor people living on the. If he doesn't want to live, what if that person doesn't want to? Like, so, for example, these, for example, Biropa. He didn't want. If he doesn't want, if somebody doesn't want things, then what makes it desirable? As long as it's not desirable, and then it's not worth. There's no worth. The more desire it is, the more precious it becomes. If there is no, it's not precious. How you measure preciousness, or is how much you want those things, right? So I literally have no idea what to get sometimes. Then I start to offer the countries. I start because it's like it's basically similar to mandala offering. Mandala offering is the universe. Each time when you offer these the text, the stupa, it has what it means is that basically you are offering your body, speech, and mind. You're not just giving a text. You're not just offering a bowl with some dots on it. Basically, that symbolizes the universe. The teaching is so precious. The teaching is so precious beyond that you are offering the whole universe to receive these teachings. So that's what it means actually. It's not just a text, and you may think, oh, this same thing, everybody is offering the same thing, going round and round. And what does that mean? But basically, what symbolizes is that you are offering your whole body, speech, and mind, and to receive those teachings, because that's how much you. And also, this is considered as the purest form of offering. Because it's all imaginary. There's no attachment. If I offer something from my own my own wealth, like for example money or gold or whatever it is, there's certain, no matter how much it is, but there's certain attachment will be there. Oh, I have offered so much money, or I have offered certain this wealth or this whatever it is. There's certain amount, certain attachment will be with this, associated with that. So it's not considered as pure offering. But when it comes to mandala offering, you're offering the whole universe, and it's basically it's like you're offering the house that you saw in your dream. I'm offering that house that I saw in my last night dream. I saw a house, and I'm offering that. Now, since there is not, there's no how do you say attachment to this house, but that's it. That's why it's considered as the purest form of offering. That's why we do this offering every time. So similarly, nowadays what I do is if I go to a different new country or something beautiful that I see, or I start to offer those things. I have offered many countries. Because that I can do, because since it's how do you say imaginary, but for me it's real. For me, I offer them as it is, because as long as there's no attachment to those things, I can offer them as pure as possible. So these kind of practices, it will help you. It helps me a lot. For me, my well-being. If I talk about worldly terms, the closest thing I can share with you is, for example, when your children, when parents see their children happy, that is far more. You get happiness then you are yourself getting anything. You want your children to be happy, because they are the most precious thing in our lives. So when they get success, or then when they get how do you say whatever achievement they achieve, you feel happy, because that is it's more meaning to you, more how do you say satisfactory to you than anything else in this world. So similarly, when you how do you say Similarly, when we, I'm sure, like million times sure, that our masters love us as much as a parent loves their child. And there's no, it's not because you are rich, not because you look handsome, or not because you live in a better country. It has your child could be mad, your child could be the ugliest person in this world, your child could be the poorest of the poorest, your child could be anything, but a parent would see their child as the most precious, no matter what conditions. Similarly, your masters see you as just see every one of us as a mother or as a father looks at their own child. So this is important to keep in our mind. So when you have that, then how do you say, it'll be easier for you to receive teachings. It'll be easier for you to learn or take the advice or take the blessing. So until that happens, it'll be more difficult for you to receive teachings. I mean, you could be sitting in the same hall, you could be sitting in an initiation, but how much you receive is totally individual. Totally depend on your motivation, totally depend on your faith, totally depend on how much you are willing to receive. Right? It does not matter whether you are at the same temple, same teaching, same master, same everything, but what you receive and how much you receive is totally depend on individuals, from the student. That's why having faith, having understanding these things, then one will have a much more better life, one for meaningful life, and more happier. Happy is not really a good term that I really like to use, because we all think that we want happy, but happiness has no Happiness could be
Hạnh
anything.
phúc có thể là bất cứ điều gì.
It could be anything. Today my happiness could be I want to eat an ice cream. Tomorrow happiness could be I want to go to some place. The day after tomorrow my happiness. The happiness is very subjective.
Rất là chủ quan.
Happiness is not. That's why happiness is not really a real thing. But the true happiness is basically when you see. Then that's why we say the true happiness is when you are at peace. That is the true happiness. And how you? The only way to achieve the peace is by getting. The seeing the true nature of everything, or by getting rid of your selfish thoughts. There is no other way to see to achieve the true peace. So basically, this is how I practice, and I hope that you have gained something from them. I don't normally consider myself as a teacher. I don't teach. From my side, I don't feel I'm teaching. I don't teach. I am giving these initiations because I have received from great masters. I have from Buddhas themselves. I have received from the Buddha themselves. So I'm just sharing. I'm the postman. Or you can say I'm the postman. I'm just giving you, or I'm the bank manager who's giving you your money or whatever it is. It's nothing to do with me, but whatever I have received, I have full 100% faith in our masters and these teachings. So I just share my experience and share what I have understand and share what I believe in. And it's totally up to you, up to your individuals, what you do with that. You do receive as an advice, as a teaching, as some just conversation. That's totally up to individual, and totally up to your own personal beliefs. And also, I am very happy that I could be in this temple. It's such a beautiful temple, and I haven't been to Australia for now about 16 or 15 years. And since we started our Vajrayana Puja this year, Vajrayana Puja is one of my personal practices, and also one of my, we have been establishing Vajrayana Puja all over the world, and I try to do as much as possible myself, and also I try to spread the teachings of Vajrayana as much as possible. So starting this year, and I hope that I could come back here every year to perform these pujas and to be with you. And I wish you all the best, and may the blessings of our masters be with you, and through the power of this dedication prayer, through the power of all our merits, the most our Guru Dalai Lama, and also our root Guru, His Holiness 41st, 42nd, and all the masters, may they live long. May their activities flourish, and all the sentient beings find their peace. So we will be praying for them. Thank you very much.
Ngài Lama Chadak Rinpoche vừa được Đức Pháp Vương gia trì. Các quý vị đạo hữu có thể thấy Ngài Pháp Vương ban thuốc trường thọ cho Lama Chadak Rinpoche, là người đã thỉnh cầu Đức Pháp Vương đến Australia. Và chúng ta phát khởi cái niềm biết ơn tới Ngài Pháp Vương cũng như là Ngài Lama Chadak Rinpoche và tất cả các ban tổ chức đã tổ chức cái buổi Quán Đảnh cho chúng ta tụng lời kệ chúng ta cầu nguyện cho tất cả các bậc đạo sư đều được trường thọ, và tất cả các hoạt động Phật pháp của các bậc đạo sư đều được thành tựu, và các đạo sư sẽ mang giáo pháp đến một nơi cho tất cả mọi chúng sinh, và để làm cho tất cả mọi chúng sinh hữu tình. Và chúng ta cùng với Bồ Đề Tâm Vương, Tâm Tối Thượng, Tâm tâm vô cùng chân quý, nơi tâm ấy chưa sinh, xin cho tâm ấy nảy sinh, nơi tâm ấy đã sinh, xin cho tâm ấy đừng bao giờ thoái chuyển, mà mãi mãi mỗi ngày một vươn lên cao hơn. Xin đem công đức này hướng về khắp tất cả, đến từng mật sinh đều tròn thành Phật đạo. Đức Pháp Vương đang làm nốt những thủ tục để kết thúc cái buổi lễ.
Zo ji don jig me dor je enenge Trin le nam we za zon gun yam Chi jam gun de ben ye ma jam den zo Da le jen jam ma don yem ben Chun jen zun jam ba yang dan gom bo ye Jom me gal we nan dan nan men Le yer me ma we zeng ye jam den zo Lab zun dri me gem ben jajen Zon dro we gyam gon do je jen Dam be zögö nö dom dö zin Ten dom jen wang jo zo de jam den zo Jam gon drubrik zö ye jishing Tse zhö zhi lam yin gu zhi gyal tabla Wang yun no bu me don go loi Gun yu den ya zo da ni jam den zo Je zi zi jin zi yi go yu La nga wa rin jin dun yi ga lo yu La ma dor je zung men zhong den Yi da jing e zin yun de mar gyur jin
Quán Đảnh Trường Thọ theo truyền thống
Dro la ji me jo jin ze yi La la ma jan zon dru bring ya zo yi Jin le mo dru ze ba me be Deng yu me dag ba dam be ji ban zo Dro lai gun ye ba je rin jin Son jin du ring zon